Listen closely, my noble squire. 9 days ago, a god cast its gaze upon a city, and in a single moment, everything vanished. No bodies remained, no voices echoed, only silence. And yet, one boy survived. Shu Qing. But survival was never mercy. It was a burden. For when a mysterious amethyst fused into his chest, his fate began to twist into something far darker. In a world ruled by monsters, poison, and desperate men, the line between human and beast does not last long. And so the question is not whether he will live, but what he must become. Let us begin.
Thoar!
Shu Qing once remembered a story his elder brother told him long ago. A quiet warning carried beneath the open sky. High above their world, he said, a deity slept, its face only faintly visible, like a shadow watching from beyond. For years it remained still, until the day Shu Qing turned 6. That was when the deity opened its eyes, and instead of light, it brought ruin. Wherever its gaze fell, people did not scream or bleed. They simply disappeared, like sand scattered by an unseen wind. Streets emptied, lives were erased. And yet, Shu Qing lived. 7 years later, that same boy now hides beneath the shattered remains of Taigu City, deep within the Nanhuan Desert. The land feels wrong, damp where it should be dry, crawling with creatures twisted into unnatural forms. From the shadows, Shu Qing reaches out and grabs a writhing insect, crushing it before eating it without hesitation. Even as a caterpillar crawls across his face, he does not react. Hunger has long since silenced discomfort. Then, something moves. A monstrous figure steps into view, its presence heavy and unnatural. In an instant, Shu Qing strikes. He launches from hiding with precise, lethal force, his movements sharp and practiced, shaped by years of survival. The creature falls. As its body collapses into the dust, Shu Qing reflects on the truth that haunts this broken world. The deity has awakened once more. Only 9 days ago, it opened its eyes again. This time, Taigu City was reduced to ruins. A rain of blood fell from the heavens, carrying with it strange, alien matter that seeped into everything it touched. By day, monstrous beasts roam freely, claiming the city as their own. But when night falls, the horror deepens. Shu Qing understands one thing above all else. The deity is still watching. And now, a mysterious barrier has sealed the city completely, cutting it off from the outside world like a tomb abandoned by the living. No one enters, no one escapes. He does not know how long he can endure this nightmare. But one truth remains. He will survive, no matter the cost. As Shu Qing walked past the scattered bodies, he set them aflame, the smoke curling into the desolate sky. Quietly, he whispered a prayer, not for himself, but for those who could no longer hear. May your next lives never witness the gaze of the deity. His words were a solemn reflection, carried only by the wind and the ashes at his feet. In the days that followed, He waited patiently. The protective shield over Taigu City had not yet faded, and he knew that venturing out too soon would be death. But as the barrier began to weaken, he stepped deeper into the ruins, seeking food, blood rations, medicinal herbs, usable weapons, anything that might keep him alive in this world of monsters and poison. Through the crumbling streets, he spotted movement. A hybrid creature, part tiger, part dragon, prowled the ruins with deadly grace. Zhu Qing melted into the shadows behind a jagged boulder, holding his breath until the beast passed, before continuing his silent journey. In what remained of the city's noble quarter, Zhu Qing discovered a treasure hidden among the rubble. The city lord's cultivation manual, the Sea Mountain Arts, a foundational technique capable of shaping one's body and spirit. Retrieving it nearly cost him his life, but he considered the risk a price worth paying. Fortune, however, had not abandoned him entirely. A handful of medicinal herbs, untouched by the alien taint, lay nearby. He used them carefully, tending to his wounds, all the while reflecting on the cruel hand of fate. Why had he survived yet another gaze of the deity when so many had simply faded into nothingness? Then, in the distance, a faint purple light shimmered. Zhu Qing felt it was not like the destruction that had reduced cities and men to ash. This light, it was different. Approaching cautiously, he discovered a man lying beneath the glow. The body had not yet turned the bluish black of the tainted, and Zhu Qing dared a thought. Perhaps he was still alive. Testing his suspicion, Zhu Qing picked up a stone and flung it toward the man. The stone struck, and the body collapsed to the ground, separating from a radiant stone that floated in the air, pulsing with purple light. Zhu Qing froze, every muscle tense. He scanned the ruins, watching for danger before slowly stepping forward. His fingers closed around the stone. It was cold and alive with energy, and he held it carefully, studying its faint, otherworldly glow. Zhu Qing remembered the first time the deity's face had briefly appeared in the sky, a fleeting glimpse that had sent shivers through the world. And now, he realized this was no ordinary stone. This amethyst, glowing with quiet power, must have preserved the man's body from the taint of alien matter. To test his theory, he picked up a small injured bird, holding the stone close. The bird's wings twitched, and then, astonishingly, its wounds closed at a speed that seemed impossible. Feathers straightened, life returned. The truth struck him. This stone was a treasure unlike any other, an amethyst imbued with miraculous healing energy. Realizing its worth, Zhu Qing resolved to conceal it, guarding it as he would his own life. Once he confirmed he was alone, he pressed the amethyst against the deep wound on the left side of his chest. Pain surged through him as the stone blazed with light. He groaned, sinking to one knee, the air around him vibrating with the intensity of its power. The purple radiance swirled violently, then gradually broke apart, disintegrating into glittering dust that rose and danced above the ground. When the light faded, Zhu Qing examined himself carefully. His injuries had vanished entirely. The amethyst did not harm him. Instead, it nourished his meridians, flooding him with a profound abundance of spiritual energy. Seizing the opportunity, he prepared to cultivate using the Sea Mountain Arts he had retrieved from the city lord's ruined residence. Settling into meditation, he sank his consciousness inward, diving deep into the vast sea of his mind. At first, there was only darkness, and silence. Then, without warning, two enormous eyes appeared, radiant and watchful in the void. Slowly, the colossal form of a tiger-like creature materialized, reminiscent of the beast he had encountered earlier in the city. Its presence filled the space, awe-inspiring and terrifying. The creature's voice resonated in his mind, calm and deliberate. The Sea Mountain Arts is a body-tempering technique composed of 10 levels, each unlocked through mastery of the 10 stages of Qi. Only through rigorous cultivation can your body and spirit reach their true potential. With each level mastered, a cultivator gained a strength of 1 tiger. 5 tigers combined their might to form a xiao, a force capable of moving mountains. 2 xiaos together created a kuei, a power said to shift entire seas. This, the tiger explained, was the origin of the technique's name, Sea Mountain Art. Shiqing listened intently, realizing that this path promised slow but terrifying growth. Every step forward demanded courage. Every level unlocked a fragment of true, unstoppable power. Gritting his teeth, he stretched out his right hand toward the tiger's massive face. The creature responded with a deep, primal roar. Thunderclouds gathered in his mental landscape, and lightning cracked across the sky of his inner world. The vision ended abruptly, leaving Shiqing gasping, yet filled with a newfound determination. He returned to his body amid the ruins of Taigu City. For the first time, he had experienced true cultivation and reached the first level of Qi condensation. Outside, the blood rain that had haunted the city for so long finally ceased. The mysterious barrier surrounding the Forbidden Zone shimmered, and then vanished. Shiqing knew it was time to leave. But before departing, he attended to the countless bodies strewn across the city. With solemn care, he gathered them into piles and set them ablaze. Flames rose into the sky, a final tribute, a prayer that they might find better luck in the lives to come. Elsewhere, a group of scavengers approached the Forbidden Zone. A woman glanced toward their leader, Mr. Lei, and reported,
"Someone has set the Forbidden Zone on fire. Kanyu has already gone ahead."
Annoyed, she asked what they should do next. Mr. Lei, calm but calculating, decided they would follow. Kanyu, after all, was not known for fairness. Back at the burning site, Shiqing stood silently, watching the flames dance across the ruins. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath him. A massive figure dropped from above, shattering the earth on impact. Kanyu, thick-necked, brutal, and wielding a massive weapon, he glared at the scene before him. His sharp eyes noticed something immediately. The bodies he expected to find had been gathered by Shiqing. Fury twisted his face. "Hand over whatever you took from them," Kanyu roared, "and perhaps I'll spare your life." Shiqing studied him calmly, knowing that defeating such a brute would require patience and strategy. Pretending to surrender, he tossed a portable sack forward as bait. In the very next moment, he lunged. Steel flashed. Shiqing slashed at Kanyu's foot, eliciting a roar of pain and rage. The brute swore vengeance, preparing to strike once more. But a commanding voice cut through the chaos. "Stop!" From the shadows, Mr. Lei and his men emerged, revealing that they had been observing the confrontation from afar. Mr. Lei regarded Shu Qing with the sharp eye of one who had seen countless survivors rise and fall. "He is no scavenger," he said to Kanyu, voice steady and commanding. "This boy comes from the slums, but he has endured what few could survive. Do not risk striking someone who has withstood the gaze of a deity." Kanyu's jaw tightened, resentment simmering beneath his fury. As Mr. Lei turned to leave, he sensed the brute's lingering defiance and paused. Slowly, he turned back, cold and deliberate. "Do I need to repeat myself?" A masked subordinate stepped forward, voice low but firm. "Defying Mr. Lei, whose cultivation far surpasses yours, would be unwise." Kanyu shot a dark glare toward Shu Qing, his warning clear. "Your days are numbered. Stay vigilant when night falls." Then, with a final growl, he departed. Ignoring the threat, Mr. Lei turned his attention to Shu Qing. "Will you join us?" he asked, the question carrying both weight and opportunity. Shu Qing hesitated only a moment before nodding. Retrieving the sack he had thrown earlier, he stepped forward, walking toward Mr. Lei. From the distance, Kanyu's eyes followed him, silent vows of revenge etched into every fiber of his being. Later, they explored the abandoned homes of the former nobles, seeking treasures hidden in the ruins. Shu Qing could feel Kanyu's gaze lingering, and he used it to his advantage, deliberately moving toward a secluded part of the mansion. Soon, Kanyu tracked him to an enclosed cave, confident that Shu Qing had come to beg for mercy. But the boy was no longer defenseless. The battle erupted swiftly, brutal and unrelenting. Shu Qing struck again and again, evading Kanyu's powerful but clumsy blows. The brute's confidence faltered, replaced by a creeping doubt. Who is this boy, truly? Inside Shu Qing's mind, the colossal tiger reappeared, its presence a wellspring of overwhelming strength. Channeling that power, he unleashed a tiger-like palm strike. The blow tore into Kanyu's body, blood spraying across the cave floor in a vivid torrent. Outside, Mr. Lei realized both Shu Qing and Kanyu were missing. He instructed his men to remain at the entrance, then entered the cave alone. Kanyu begged for mercy, but it was too late. Shu Qing silenced him with a warning and delivered the final, decisive blow. When Mr. Lei reached the scene, he found only blood on the ground, no corpse. Shu Qing melted into the shadows, watching silently as the leader surveyed the carnage. As Mr. Lei began to turn back toward the entrance, he paused, voice calm and commanding. "Will you come with me?" Startled at being discovered, Shu Qing stepped out from the darkness. He followed Mr. Lei a short distance, voice low but steady. "Can I survive by your side?" Memories surged through him as he walked. Images of his childhood, the loss of his family, and the suffering he endured when the deity first awakened flooded his mind. That trauma, etched deep into his soul at the age of 6, had carved something cold and ruthless within him. The boy who had once trembled now understood one undeniable truth. In this shattered world, survival was all that mattered. Later, Shu Qing and Mr. Lei resumed their journey toward the scavenger camp. Along the way, they shared a simple meal. Shu Qing confided quietly that his favorite food was snake meat, earning a faint, approving nod from Mr. Lei. Upon arrival, the camp was alive with brutal order. Shu Qing's eyes fell on a fight between a young man and an older one. The older combatant emerged victorious, killing his opponent and claiming all that he had owned without hesitation. No one intervened. It was the way of life here. Survival demanded indifference. Elsewhere, music drifted across the camp. A man plucked strings and sang, weaving art through the backdrop of violence. Shu Qing took in every detail. Through the folds of a nearby tent, he glimpsed a man in the throes of intimacy with a woman. Mr. Lei's voice cut gently into his observation. "Do not stare," he warned. "Life here. These are the customs you must learn to endure." When Shu Qing asked if he would be forced to participate, Mr. Lei only smiled faintly. "When you live with the Romans, you must follow their rules, or you will not survive." His attention was soon drawn to a commotion. Mr. Lei explained the test of acceptance. Every newcomer must prove their worth by confronting a monster. A level 1 beast, the Wind Shadow Wolf, was currently overpowering a man in the fighting grounds. A call went out. Anyone capable of defeating it should step forward. Inside the Scavenger headquarters, a newly arrived slave girl trembled at the thought of facing the same beast. A nearby man reassured her coldly, "Your turn will come soon enough." Shu Qing and Mr. Lei stepped into the room just then, and the man gave Shu Qing a brief summary of the camp's harsh laws. "Life here is governed by chance," he explained. "You either survive or you perish." To determine who would face the wolf, lots were drawn. Zhu Qing and the girl each took a stick from the container. The lot with the python mark would fight first. Zhu Qing's glance revealed that the girl had drawn the mark, but without hesitation, he stepped forward. He would face the danger himself, sparing her life. The fighting grounds were tense with anticipation. Shu Qing's opponent was revealed, a second-rank giant-horned python, which had just devoured the wolf that had defeated the prior competitor. The crowd jeered, urging the beast to end his life quickly, their voices a mix of fear and morbid excitement. The python lunged with terrifying speed. Shu Qing leapt into the air, sword in hand, landing above the serpent with measured precision. He drove his blade into the creature's chest, dragging it down in a brutal, sweeping arc. The python collapsed, its green gallbladder now in Shu Qing's grasp, a prize hard-earned through strength, skill, and unflinching courage. The crowd erupted in cheers, voices echoing across the fighting grounds. Praise rained down upon Shu Qing for his victory, yet high above, the seventh elder observed with measured eyes. Turning to a companion, he murmured, "This boy has potential, but what he has gained must be refined, lest it consume him." Shu Qing approached Mr. Lei, carrying the inner flesh of the python. "Your treat," he said simply, offering it with calm precision. Mr. Lei accepted, nodding with approval. Minutes later, they sat to a hearty meal. Zhu Qing, accustomed for years to insects and other strange sustenance, fumbled with chopsticks. Mr. Lei guided him patiently, his tone both instructive and gentle. "I saw you consume the python's gallbladder," he remarked. "A commendable attempt to build resistance to the alien toxins, but far from sufficient. You must obtain a white elixir soon to stabilize the energy within you." Shu Qing's gaze fell upon his hand, where wisps of dark smoke curled and twisted into the air. The alien taint had begun its silent corruption. He knew, without hesitation, that the white elixir was no longer optional. It was essential. Without it, the dark matter coursing through his veins could drive him to madness. He made his way to the store to purchase the elixir. There, he noticed the girl who had drawn the python stick days before. Nearby, the same man Shu Qing had seen earlier with a prostitute mocked her openly. His words were crude, his intentions clear. He demanded additional benefits in exchange for his kindness. Shu Qing, sensing the brewing danger, chose that moment to ask for the white elixir. He paid without argument, keeping his composure. As he turned to leave, a sword sliced past his face. He ducked instinctively. The attacker was the same man who had harassed the girl. Pride and menace twisted his expression. "I've slain countless giant-horned pythons," he boasted. "Give me the elixir, or I'll take it from your corpse." Troublemakers gathered quickly, circling the scene, their anticipation electric. Shu Qing remained silent, eyes calculating. 2 opponents meant they could outnumber him, and he would not allow the girl to be endangered. With precise calm, he tossed the white elixir to the man. Mockery and confidence danced in the man's eyes. "Even if you return tomorrow," he sneered, "I will take it from you again." Shu Qing bowed his head slightly, feigning submission. The man smashed a container to the ground and smeared its contents on Shu Qing's clothes, humiliating him before the gathering crowd. The boy endured, silent and unreadable, every fiber of him absorbing the lesson. Survival required patience, calculation, and restraint. Shu Qing watched silently as Ma Se disappeared into the night, his body still trembling from the unstable energy coiling within his hand. His expression, however, betrayed nothing. The decision had already been made. Ma Se, a man infamous in the camp for reckless indulgence and unrestrained appetites, wandered later that night, sensing only faint shadows behind him. Distracted by discomfort and fatigue, he paid no mind to the presence trailing him. A shadow solidified behind him. It was Shu Qing. Before Ma Se could react, Shu Qing's blade struck with absolute precision. Blood erupted from his victim's mouth as life drained in an instant. Cold and deliberate, Shu Qing declared that he would reclaim what was taken, even if it meant retrieving it from the corpse itself. No hesitation, no remorse. As he withdrew, one of Ma Se's men, hidden, watching, stood frozen in horror. Nearby, creatures descended on the body, tearing it apart. Shu Qing emerged into view, leaving no doubt about the architect of Ma Se's demise. The man, later identified as Fatty Shan, did not immediately retaliate. Loyalty had long since eroded. Instead, he demanded the contents of Ma Se's leather bag, revealing a simmering dissatisfaction with his master. The battle began. Fatty Shan, a practitioner on the 3rd level of qi condensation, proved a formidable opponent. Shu Qing struck decisively, smashing his sword into Shan's cheek and sending a tooth flying amidst a spray of blood. Shan faltered, but 2 ghost-faced scorpions emerged from his ears, lunging at Shu Qing. With skill honed through hardship, Shu Qing destroyed them, only to be engulfed in a thick green poisonous cloud. Believing victory his, Shan relaxed. He was wrong. From within the toxic haze, Shu Qing surged forward. His sword drove through Shan's forehead, emerging from the back of his skull. the servant collapsed, lifeless. Breathing heavily, Shu Qing touched the amethyst embedded near his chest. Without its earlier healing power, he would not have survived this night. Before dying, Shan had attempted to crush something in his hand. Zhu Qing discovered a scorpion tail sealed within a golden yellow crystal. A life-saving artifact, he deduced, activated only at the brink of death. He claimed it for himself. Using his abilities, he erased the body entirely, leaving no evidence behind. Exhausted and wounded, Shu Qing returned to camp. Along the way, he witnessed two men beating an old man while stealing from him, children wailing helplessly nearby. He walked past without intervention. Survival demanded a cold heart. At Mr. Lei's house, the strain finally overcame him. He clutched his stomach, vomiting blood. His vision blurred, the remnants of his earlier meal flashing before him. Mr. Lei stood nearby, smoking quietly, watching as the boy endured yet another lesson in this merciless world. Shu Qing slowly opened his eyes, the lingering pain of poison crawling through his veins. The amethyst had nearly neutralized its effects, saving him from certain death. Struggling to his feet, he stepped outside and beheld the members of the Thunder Squad, introduced by Mr. Lei. A towering man named Mangui, a woman perched lightly on a swing named Lunaya, and another man, Shizi, stood before him. Shu Qing observed them carefully, reading the danger and skill each radiated. Mr. Lei explained their abilities. Shizi, a 4th-level Qi condensation cultivator, was unmatched and feared in his realm. Lunaya, at the 3rd level, commanded beasts through her will. Mangi, also at the 3rd level, wielded strength that could topple trees and shatter stone. Shu Qing nodded silently, aware that joining this group meant stepping into a crucible of both opportunity and peril. The camp leader had issued a mission, an early spring harvest in the Forbidden Zone. 3 sets of elixirs, far stronger than the usual white elixirs, awaited those who survived. Shizi cautioned that Shu Qing, still only a 2nd-level cultivator, would need protection. Shu Qing accepted without hesitation, knowing that survival demanded courage and decisiveness. The strong do not wait for fate to open a path. They carve one with their own hands. Entering the ghost-faced Forbidden Zone, the group advanced cautiously. Mr. Lei recounted the necessary precautions for navigating this treacherous expanse. Soon, they reached the 7-leaf clover fields. The tension in the air was tangible. Mr. Lei noticed a strange powder scattered across the terrain, a lure for monsters. Moments later, black-skinned level 3 wolves surged toward them. Weapons were drawn, the clash erupting in a storm of movement and sound. One wolf lunged at Shu Qing, nearly claiming his life, but Mangui intervened, crushing the beast before it could strike again. The wolves pressed forward relentlessly, forcing the group up the mountain. Even as Shu Qing collapsed under the effort, a virus-like beast singled him out. Powerless to resist, he felt the creature battering him toward oblivion. Then, the amethyst pulsed within his chest, forming a shield that absorbed the brunt of the assault. The virus shrieked, expelled from his body, only to be drawn back into the beast. Exhaustion pulled at him. His consciousness sank inward, and then clarity returned. Shu Qing had broken through the barrier of the 2nd level of Qi condensation. He now stood at the 3rd level. Energy flowed through him with newfound precision, Understanding deepened, and the hidden pathways of cultivation opened before his mind's eye. A blade tempered in hardship cuts deeper than one forged in comfort. Gazing toward the river, he saw Mangui's shield and sensed that some of the tainted blood coursing through him had been absorbed by the giant. Recognition struck. Mangui had shared the burden to protect him. Without hesitation, Shu Qing surged forward to aid his comrade. Meanwhile, Mangui, his body now twisted with horned mutations, fought with relentless ferocity. Each strike was a testament to his resolve, each movement a refusal to yield. Sensing death brushing against him, he seized one of the shadow leaders, pulling the man into a crushing embrace. The attacker stabbed frantically, blades sinking again and again into Mangui's flesh, desperate to break free. Yet Mangui did not falter. His body bulged grotesquely as the unstable energy within him reached its breaking point, veins and horns pulsing with raw power. Then he exploded. A violent surge of force tore through the battlefield, obliterating one of the demons in a single catastrophic moment. Smoke and debris hung heavy in the air as the dust settled. Shu Qing's eyes caught movement nearby. A shadow attacker, trembling, pleading for mercy. Without hesitation, Shu Qing pressed his foot down onto the man's head, crushing him against the ground. Life ceased in an instant, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Survival demanded no hesitation, and Shu Qing had already embraced that truth. As the dust settled, silence fell over the battlefield, but the air trembled with a new threat. From the shadows beyond the ruins, a figure emerged, tall, silent, and radiating an aura that made even Shu Qing pause. He did not speak, yet the world seemed to shrink around him. Shu Qing's hand instinctively tightened on his sword, the amethyst in his chest pulsing violently, as if warning him, this was no ordinary foe. And so my chronicle comes to an end. Tell me, my loyal squire, will Shu Qing, who walks a path shrouded in shadows, survive the trials that lie ahead, or falter before his journey truly begins? If you wish to witness what comes next, speak it below, and perhaps the next chronicle shall be revealed.
Thoar!